The Panzerkampfwagen V is the second production variant of the iconic Panzerkampfwagen V Panther medium tank family. Many Panther D characteristics, such as the small rectangular letterbox hull machine gun opening, remained on the early production Panther A manufactured between July and December 1943. The Panther A turret has received significant modifications. For starters, the gun mantlet on the Panther A turret was larger than the one on the previous Panther D. The design of the cast turret side directly behind the gun mantlet was modified to a disc-shaped protrusion to fit the new gun mantlet. In addition, a new dome-shaped cast armor commander's cupola was designed, and a ring was mounted on the commander's cupola to allow for the mounting of an anti-aircraft light machine gun. A single-speed turret power traverse system was also introduced, allowing Panther A to react to adversary tanks considerably faster than before. Finally, the German army put a unique coating called Simmerit on the tank's outside surface, anticipating that the Soviets and Allies would deploy magnetic mines to destroy the tank. That Simmerit aims to minimize the effectiveness of magnets adhering to the metal hull. The Panther A was part of the next generation of medium tanks that officially superseded the Panzer IVs in World War II. The Panther A is widely regarded as one of the best medium tanks of World War II, combining mobility, protection, and firepower. After the Soviet T-34, it was one of the most influential tank designs and served as the foundation for many later medium tank designs in other countries. The turret traverse speed is much faster than the previous Panther D model, lowering reaction time to unexpected spotting of enemies at close quarters significantly. Commanders can also use the commander's cupola-mounted MG-34 light machine gun as a deterrence to hostile low-flying aircraft. Other modifications were introduced during the production run. OSV and OSV tanks were also upgraded with different features once they had been issued to a Panzer division when they went to a maintenance or repair unit. The chassis used for the early production Panther OSV was almost same as that used for the OSV. This new batch of Panther tanks was given a new version designation, OSV, because they were fitted with an improved turret. The new turret, like the chassis, underwent changes during its production. The 7.5 cm Kw-K42L70 gun was the same, and so was the binocular Tzf-12 gun sight. The external shape of the new turret looked very similar to the older OSV turret, but there were some subtle changes. The gun mantle on the OSV turret was wider than the one fitted to the older OSV. Directly behind the gun mantle, the shape of the cast turret side had changed to a disc-shaped protrusion to fit the new seal for the gun mantle. Early production OSV tanks had the same rectangular letterbox pistol port in the front glacis plate, out of which the radio operator could fire a machine gun. In late November 1943, a ball-mount Kugelblende with a spherical armored guard was introduced. The radio operator could now see forward through the machine gun sight. The forward-facing periscope was no longer fitted. His side periscope was repositioned 25 mm further to the right. The early production Panther OSV had the same layout as on the OSV tank, with two vertical exhaust pipes sticking out of individual curved armored guards at the rear of the tank. Now 3 long vertical pipes came out of a modified armored curved cover. There was still only one exhaust pipe coming out of the armored cover on the right side of the tank. The design of the armor casing for the final drive housing was altered during the production run of OSV Panthers. The Panther was born out of the shock of combat on the Eastern Front during the 1941 Operation Barbarossa. There, German units first met the T-34 and KV-1 tanks, which posed significant problems to the German tank and anti-tank cannons. Panther tanks first saw action during the Battle of Kursk on the Eastern Fronts. They were also used in Italy, France, Belgium, and Holland. They took part in the Ardennes Offensive, the Battle of the Bulge, plus the defense of Germany. It had better cross-country mobility than the Tiger tank and had the same, if not more, hitting power, with its 7.5 cm long-barreled high-velocity anti-tank gun. The use of sloped armor kept the weight of the tank down but maintained its protection level. The angled front 80 mm armor glacis plate gave more protection than the Tiger tank's 100 mm vertical armor plate. Enemy tank crews always tried to outflank Panther tanks to fire at its more vulnerable side or rear armor. The Panther tank was armed with a long-barreled high-velocity 7.5 centimeters gun that could knock out all Allied and Soviet tanks at long distances. It had an effective direct fire range of 1.1 kilometers to 1.3 kilometers. With a good gun crew, it could fire 6 rounds a minute. 79 rounds of 75 millimeters ammunition could be stored inside the tank. There was a coaxial 7.92 millimeters MG-34 machine gun next to it. The German designers added protective skirt armor made from 4 millimeters soft steel Schurzhen to protect the visible 40 millimeters chassis side armor visible between the top of the track and below the pannier. It was believed this area would be vulnerable to penetration at close range by Soviet anti-tank rifles. Starting in late August 1943, the factory started to apply Zimmerit anti-magnetic mine paste on all upright surfaces of the Panther tanks on the production line. A Maybach HL210, 650 horsepower engine was replaced with the more powerful HL230, 700 horsepower engine.
Panther tanks first saw action on the eastern fronts. They were also used in Italy, France, Belgium, and Holland. They took part in the Ardennes offensive, the Battle of the Bulge plus the defense of Germany. It had better cross-country mobility than the Tiger tank and had the same if not more hitting power, with its 7.5 cm long-barreled high-velocity anti-tank gun. Around 6,000 were produced. The use of sloped armor kept the weight of the tank down but maintained its protection level. The angled front 80mm armor glacis plate gave more protection than the Tiger tank's 100mm vertical armor plate. This fact is not often mentioned. Enemy tank crews always tried to outflank Panther tanks.
The Jagdpanther was a tank destroyer built by Germany during World War II. The Jagdpanther combined the 8.8 cm PaK 43 anti-tank gun, similar to the main gun of the Tiger II, with the armor and suspension of the Panther chassis. It entered service in 1944 and served on the eastern and western fronts. During the last stages of the war, limited German production resulted in small production numbers, shortage of spare parts, and shortened crew training periods of younger operators. The gun was mounted in a central mantlet, giving it a limited traverse of 12 degrees to each side. A single 7.92mm MG-34 machine gun was in a ball mount on the right side of the front glacis plate. The machine gunner was also the radio operator. The driver sat on the left. The gunner had a rangefinder and a periscope telescopic sight. The periscope, linked to the gun mount, was under an armored housing on the roof. The Jagdpanther had a good power-to-weight ratio and a powerful main gun, enabling crews to destroy any type of Allied tank. Based on the established Panther OSF G chassis, the vehicle encountered few mechanical problems. It was crewed by 5: driver, radio operator / machine gunner, commander, gunner, and a loader. Jagdpanther equipped heavy anti-tank battalions and served mainly on the Eastern Front. In the West, they were encountered in very small numbers late in the Battle of Normandy. The German 654th Heavy Anti-Tank Battalion deployed about 12 Jagdpanthers against the British Armed Forces. 7 Jagdpanthers of the Schwer Panzerjäger Battalion 559 were involved in the Battle of Giel in September 1944. Later, significant numbers were concentrated in the West for the Ardennes offensive. For surviving Jagdpanthers are restored to running condition, 1 each at the Deutsches Panzermuseum at Munster and the Wehrtechnische Studiensammlung at Koblenz. The Wheeled Foundation in the UK restored 1 Jagdpanther to running condition and has a second undergoing restoration. The Imperial War Museum at Duxford, UK has restored a Panzerbefehlswagen Jagdpanther to running condition.